Hi everybody, welcome to Trending Topics. How's my seating, lighting, voice? Good? It's just these, if anyone's gone live before, you know what it's like for these first few minutes. The first 30 seconds, there's some numbers start showing up. Hi everyone, my name is Zach Haller, welcome to Trending Topics. Thanks for joining. Make sure you share. Hey guys, nice to see you. There's been no shortage of drama in our world. Hi Sarah. Okay, sorry about that. Are we back? Are we okay? I lost signal for a second, but I think that was okay. I had a whole disaster. My Coke, or my soda, that's not a product placement, sorry, totally just exploded all over as my phone crashed. So hopefully that was the low point of tonight, and things will be smooth sailing from here on out. I hope everyone is pouring a drink if you drink, and if you don't, get some water, because water is life. And feel free to... So when I say drink, that's code word for whatever your vice is. If you live someplace where weed is legal, I highly encourage that. So yeah, you can drink whatever you want, but it's... By this time in the week, we got a holiday weekend coming up. It's just I don't know. It's just I feel like it's kind of a placebo effect with alcohol and drinking. It's just the thought of drinking makes me happy. So cheers everybody. The rule is when I drink, you drink. So cheers. Happy Thirsty Thursday. Thanks for joining me, and that spilled everywhere, which is typical if anyone is used to being around me. I'm a mess. But I have a towel here. So we'll get started. My name is Zach Haller. Welcome to Trending Topics here on Real Progressives, where we talk about what's trending, what's not, and what certainly should be. I'm coming to you from Seattle, Washington. Share in the comments where you're from. I always think that that's interesting. And it's warm out, but I'm inside, which is a shame because if it were outside. So here's a thing about So I obviously, my Twitter profile has no shirt on, right? It's a bust, it's the theory, it's artistic kind of in terms of, busts from museums and things like that, and Bernier bust and things like that. And so that's kind of part of my shtick, right? So, I'm happy to do live streams without my shirt on. I'm totally happy. I can do it perfectly. It's fine. But right when I started doing all these live streams and stuff after the election, I started working at Truth Against the Machine, as some of you know, and I can't even I just am laughing just in my head, just thinking about all the stuff that I would be telling you if we were really around each other. And once I get my own YouTube channel really up and running, I'll probably dish some stuff that I shouldn't say. But right when it's the first thing that Jordan Cheriton said to me when I started working at Truth Against the Machine, I'd gotten the emails confirming that I was in from staff, and the first thing that Jordan said to me was that he have ever I'd never interacted with him ever before, read his stuff, whatever. But the first thing he said to me was, "No shirtless videos, Zach." Okay, thanks Jordan. Definitely needed to hear that. So, but I probably will do a shirtless Saturday or something this summer just for fun. So if you guys want to be naked, or at any stage of undress, you're in the privacy of your own home. And that's one of the things that I think is cool about doing these live things and watching my home. Because it's you can be doing whatever, and that's fine. And I'm just, that's the idea. So Caitlin Johnstone wrote this amazing, Caitlin Johnstone wrote this amazing article, and we got to chat about it on one of our talks recently, and it's basically about the demise of the late night comedy shows. And I've noticed that definitely is basically now that comedy shows, they're basically kind of all revolving around the liberal agenda and the liberal media. And so now that they're pushing all this Trump narrative, basically all the late night comedy shows are just bullshit now because they're joking about a fake world. And so late night comedy is basically now just as Caitlin described it, a plutocratic rim job, which is an amazing description and completely accurate. And it just kind of as this media revolution, and I'm all about the media revolution, you know, I really think about how the times are really changing in late stage capitalism and moving away from people's interests and obsessions with money and fame and glamour and all of the everything that money can buy. As people move away from that, we're gonna see more. We're seeing more live videos that are popping up, and it's so funny because just like sometimes I see people, in their just homes, just like completely just themselves, which is amazing to see people just in their natural state. But we're so used to seeing everything so polished, and it's like, when you're young or back, in the day, I guess, like, so up until now, watching like David Letterman or Jay Leno or Carlin or any of these people, it's so much about their presentation and the tuxedos and the glamour and the glitz, and it's the stage, they must be credible, they're in 30 Rock. It's like there's so much just kind of like wealth admiration that's inherent in these late night talk shows. And now that everyone's exhausted on that, nobody wants wealth anymore. Everybody's moving away from this interest of admiring people with wealth because of how much harm they've caused us and for other reasons. But now we're looking for people who are being truthful more than anything else. And so it's kind of taken the allure away from the show of late night TV. And those ratings, it's like all of the ratings for corporate TV, it's like those are going to continue to decline as mainstream media kind of dies out with the Democratic Party, which apparently is what's happening at this point. So indie media, it's like the cool new thing, in the future, the most interesting shows, the most exciting things are going to be live streams coming to you from like the privacy and like the intimacy and the, simplicity and mystery of a person's home or wherever they are, and who that person is and their entire kind of just like, personality obviously will have some, extent to it. But in terms of news and culture and current events and finding people we trust, it's basically that whole corporate media and entertainment is gonna move online with YouTube, and it has a big way already. But just now with the DNC lawsuit, really putting the mainstream media in the spotlight for how complicit in their wrongdoing they are, in terms of just like messaging what the Democratic Party and Hillary Clinton told them to message, not in any interest or in any defense of people who just wanted truth or wanted that the news entities would, even if they favored a candidate behind closed doors and like on their personal Twitter accounts, they would at least be trying to have their journalistic integrity in the reporting that they were doing, so they were being balanced and reporting conflicts of interest and not just conglomerating around one candidate and elevating the other candidate as a Pied Piper. That's such a disservice, and I think that more people are going to get fed up with news, and that's going to spill into corporate late night TV and talk shows, and it's going to become stuff that's online, and it's so cool to think about that. And on that note, real quick, so I launched this YouTube channel, and it's called The Zach Haller Affair, and I'm going to get my trailer video up either tomorrow or Saturday. There's a lot of planning that's going into it, and I have a lot of other things going on in my life. So thanks for everyone who's subscribed already, and please go to my channel, The Zach Haller Affair. You have to check my Twitter feed and subscribe to it. I'm going to start churning out videos. I'm really going to be able to do a lot more in the next few weeks. I'm moving to a new apartment in Seattle I'm going to have my own space, so it's going to be better, and I'm going to be able to do my own thing in there, and have lots of different activities. And I'm basically going to turn the Zach Haller affair into like what I want it. So basically, I'm a ham, whatever. You know that. That's why we're here. And when I was young, I wanted to be on SNL, like Jimmy Fallon or Seth Meyers, Amy Poehler. Like those were all my kind of Tina Fey. Like those were kind of all my inspirations. Like the super smart, funny news people, but actually comics also that were like talented at all these things. So I was always kind of like, oh, maybe one day I'll be on SNL. And as I got more anti-corporate in my life and my like ability to put up with wealthy people parading around wealthy people in the sake of wealth, I'm like, nope, this SNL is never gonna let me anything, like no corporate, no big Hollywood anything is ever gonna welcome me now with my track record. And I mean, this is how I feel about that. So it's fine, but now I'm just realizing, oh, it's really on me to just create the Zach Haller Affair as my little show on the internet already, and I can just go from there. So I'm really excited about it, and it's gotten a lot of really great feedback and recommendations. So please, this is such a cool collaborative process in terms of creating a media that's by the people and for the people. And if you follow me on Twitter, you read some of my articles, you can kind of see how the things that I tweet they get put into my Medium articles. And when you tweet something hilarious, I end up, we can use those in our articles. And it's an amazing way to crowdsource entertainment, whether that's entertainment news or entertainment comedy. Like, I'm gonna try and get this article written tonight and pop it off tomorrow. Just a funny one, because like it's part of like the suspense. Like, what the fuck is Zach writing? Like, I'm just this random crazy person on Twitter, and so like have these Medium articles that come out now or whatever. And like my Russian trolls, I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was satire. Nobody had seen me do satire before, so it like throws people off, and I just love pushing people's buttons. So I'm gonna release another kind of satirical piece tomorrow, hopefully. And like, for example, I was just dying laughing this week when the worst headline you could ever imagine, like, imagine the most, like, I was like, if you need to induce vomiting, here's your headline, because it was saying it was an Entertainment Weekly article saying Katy Perry opens up about how Hillary Clinton's loss affected her new album. Like, that's the most nauseating, horrible, horrible, horrible headline you could ever listen to. So we have to drink. This is so strong, it's amazing. And so, because I like to fuck around on Twitter, I was like, I don't remember, somebody, Richard Parker, friend, hilarious Twitter friend, he put, I can't wait for her new single, what was it? Hot Sauce in the Woods. And I lost my shit. And so, of course, I was like, gotta make a hashtag. And I just try to make hashtags whenever you can. So on hashtags, if we're thinking of social media smarts, so hashtags, you always have to, if you're going to try and start a hashtag, and I've, done a few and gotten some success creating them from absolute nowhere. Basically, you need to make sure that whatever you're hashtagging is a completely natural, like, written expression. So it's a very natural thing for people to think out and just tweet as a trend. You can't overthink it. You can't make it clever, because the more thought you put into it, the less likely it is someone's going to like attach to it and think about it and join it and tweet it a lot. It has to be very straightforward. So I sat there and I was like, okay, this is hilarious. Songs that Katy Perry and Hillary Clinton could contribute together on. That's a hilarious concept. And so obviously Hot Sauce into Woods, you can make it up yourself and just make up any like chachi Katy Perry bullshit song that's about the most terrible person that ever has been, Hillary Clinton, and then we can throw them out there. And you can play, like I did Teenage Dream to Prison Pipeline, and then a hashtag, so it's Katy Perry featuring HRC. So I kind of thought that up, and it's a hilarious, the hashtag, so many, I don't know how many people, maybe 100 tweets came in. But now, if you click Katy Perry featuring HRC, there's this absolutely hilarious list of all of these songs. And, these just, everybody that follows me on Twitter, like, I love everybody so much because it's all fucking funny as shit. People who are creative, who are stupid, who just throw shit out there and are smart and woke as fuck. But also funny. I just feel so blessed reading my timeline. I'm just like, everybody cracks me up, and that's why I retweet so much. I'm just like, these are the funniest people on the internet. Right here. Funniest unbought people on the internet are in my timeline. And that's amazing. And so, I'm going to put this article out tomorrow, and I'll give some shout-outs, so everybody can see. But, basically, if I had my YouTube channel set up, I'm going to get some musicians, I've got some sound equipment that I'm working on, there's a lot of stuff going on. But, basically, if I had my YouTube channel up and running and the Zach Hallerfer was all ready, you would be able to just, like, here would be a live video that I would do, where I would just release, I'd just be like, okay, I heard that Katy Perry's got a new single featuring HRC, let's turn it on. And I need to work on my voice, but it's like, cancel all the fireworks, primary rigging didn't work, nobody showed up, left Democrats in the dust, Like, that's the type of stuff I want to be doing on my YouTube channel. So, the Zach Haller affair is going to be very dramatic, and I'll get auto-tuned so it doesn't sound that bad. But, like, cancel all the fireworks was one of somebody's suggestions for the Katy Perry featuring HRC song. I was screaming and crying for like 10 minutes in my house laughing so hard. That was the funniest thing ever. And so, anyway, that's just a testament to Twitter and Twitter, especially more so than Facebook. I know we're here and it's fun to comment on comments, but I obviously can't like lift comments and retweet them. And so that's part of the reason I love playing around on Twitter, is because you can read anything from anyone at any time, and if it's stupid, you just don't respond to it, or you just, if that doesn't meet your interest, just read the next one. And it's just amazing to me how much power we have over hashtags, because there's literally millions of us, and most, picture, every time I'm on Twitter, I'm just like, okay, so many Bernie people are on here, and I just picture all of these stadiums across the country filled with people that were there to see Bernie. Like, I would have showed up to that Bernie rally with literally any of that people in that stadium. If I was trying to go to a Bernie rally and didn't have anyone to go with back that last year, I would have literally been like, who can I go with? I'll literally go with anybody. I will go by myself if I need to, but you can find people to go to a Bernie rally with. And I'm like, we all have that in common. There's so many of us. And that sense of humor and that sense of, everything about Bernie was just a very, like, genuine, like, good-hearted, he was funny, everything about that, like, is totally present in the millions of people that are still watching and still participating in all of this stuff. And so we're all out there. So, like, tweet more and tweet. Facebook posts, it's like it's your friends, your family, and people are more sensitive to that stuff. So I'm like, I post just for entertainment purposes. I'm like, I'm not gonna, my heart's not an open book. Like, sorry, get to know me if you want to learn about that shit. I'm not posting it. Twitter, so Facebook is more sensitive, but Twitter, like, post funny stuff. Post any opinions, thoughts, stuff you have, because you never know when you're gonna strike a chord with someone. You never know when it's gonna be able to be the perfect fit in, like, an article where, like, you are just all of a sudden in a Caitlin Johnstone article because you just said the funniest thing first and it was amazing and everybody retweeted it. Hi John, what's up? Cheers everybody. I haven't drank in a little bit, so I need to keep going. So subscribe to my YouTube channel. And one other quick plug, I feel so blessed. So Caitlin Johnstone, who's like the best writer of the internet right now in my opinion, she had this lovely idea, and I'm so bewildered and honored that she hit me up for this. But she and I are doing a podcast thing now on she's releasing them on Monday, which I think is maybe Tuesday or late in Australia because she's down in Melbourne. But she and I are doing weekly wrap-up podcasts, so it's called Talking Smack with Katie and Zach. And I legitimately, I became obsessed with her when I first started reading her stuff. I was like, who is this person? I'm obsessed. And I'm screaming laughing in most of her articles, and then wildly informative and just on point. I'm just like, the whole time I'm reading her stuff, I'm just like, these are my exclamation points. You know how there's like parentheses and air quotes? That's an exclamation point. When you're just like, I love Caitlin Johnstone, and you have to put 10 exclamation points on the end. And so like, I became obsessed with her really fast, and so that she even talks to me, I'm just like, oh my god, it's amazing, she talks to me. And I'm like, oh, we're doing phone calls. She's calling me every time she picks up the phone. She's like, how's it going? No, I'm literally just like smiling. I'm like, it's good, you're talking to me, this is amazing. Oh my god, I fucking love you. And we've had some good chats. So watch her page and my page for that too. And they've been going up on Real Progressive and stuff too. But there's just so much cool indie media stuff going on right now. And don't be afraid to put your voice into the fold too, because we need, again, media by the people, for the people. A whole new generation of media is beginning now. Now that we've seen the Democratic Party is about to collapse and completely unfold, now is the absolute epicenter starting point of the future of post-capitalism media. And I'm here, H.A. Tim Black, literally the people who are tied to truth right now, at the absolute very base of this. We are the beginning, we are the seed of the future of independent, truthful media. And if you bullshit, then you fall out. Sorry, Intercept, sorry, Young Turks. But that's the real thing, and it's really just going to be all coming down to truth. And we're going to need funny people, and we're going to need every kind of commentary. So don't be afraid to put your stuff out there. And I'm definitely going to have contributors on my YouTube, and I'm definitely going to have a thing where if you just want to record a YouTube hot take, you can send it to me, and I'll look at it. I'll have a process, but basically, we just want to get as many people out in the fold as possible, give them as much of a platform, because it's just helpful to hear people's opinions and thoughts and, find people you can trust. And we've got elections coming up in 2017 here in Seattle. We've got elections for mayor and city councils here in Seattle this year. So I'm going to have a whole segment all about Seattle and how we're moving the two amazing candidates in the Socialist Party, Nikita Oliver and John Grant. I'll get to them later, but I'll be focusing on that. And anyone, anywhere, it's just like build trust and build credibility. It seems like you should feel pressure, which you shouldn't feel pressure. Do a good job, obviously be truthful, but people feel like they have to be pressured to get a lot of likes right away or retweets right away. It's like, it's a long game. You really have to be like, okay, if 1 year from now I want to be have a YouTube channel that's monetized because I have 10,000 subscribers. Look at that as a 1-year plan goal and say, okay, I need to get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube in my first month, and hopefully I can replicate that in month 2. And the thing is like, we're all looking out for each other right now. And the more truth you say, the more I like you. And we all can find each other. We have so much in common. The more you stick to the truth and not try and tell people what to think or whatever, the more you stick to the truth, the more, people, comrades you're gonna have, basically. So start YouTube channels, start playing with things, learn the tools, I'm going to be releasing basically a citizens journalism toolkit on my YouTube. That's going to be kind of the first thing that I start, is basically how to Twitter, how to YouTube, how to Periscope, how to Facebook, how to all this stuff. Because on the one hand, we kind of know because we've been kind of doing it, but on the other hand, we have a media revolution to begin, and I'm working on it. I don't know whether you are or not, but I'm working on it. And that means looking at all of our social media strategies in a different way now going forward, and even just to keep, just in my opinion, it's helpful. I don't like to be like you should believe what I think person. I don't want to tell people what to believe. I just like to put information out there and let people draw their conclusions. I'll show them the conclusions I'm drawing as part of it. That's part of the sharing. Sharing is caring. But the more people that we have just getting used to putting stuff out there in a way that's guided to just be sharing information and not trying to moralize and not trying to tell people what to think, I think that's are going to be a really important network to lay. So we've got 2018 coming up, and the corporate media is going to clearly be trying to shove corporate candidates down our throat in 2018, and we're not going to want to listen to any of them. And we basically all only had H.A. Goodman and Mike Sinato all last year, and fortunately now we will have more people in 2018, so that's good. But people need to start laying the groundwork for their personal YouTubes and their personal Medium accounts now, because it takes time to build these audiences. And you don't want to, as much as Jordan or BuzzFeed or any of these guys might want to tell you need clicks, obviously you write your headlines in a way that's going to attract people to read your story, and that's part of the challenge, is writing a smart headline. But get that practice now, build that audience now. I said, and offer still stands, if you draft an essay in Google Documents and you send me a link, I will pop in as soon as I can and go through and either give you feedback or proofread or edit or whatever. It's like, that's pretty quick for me. And as long as the draft is done, you can give a starting point. A lot of folks get wrapped up like, oh, what should I write about? What should I write about? And yeah, writer's block. But at the same time, in general, for writing, just write as much as you can. Write, ramble, say, smoke weed, drink, let your thoughts come out of you non-judgmentally, and then after you have like 3 pages of rants about whatever just happened, look at it and be like, okay, I need to find the 5 best points I made in this 2-page rant. And you literally go pick those 3 or 4 points and say, okay, now I'm going to simplify all of this, and these are my 3 points, and I'm just going to put these 3 points out there in this piece. And then if I have more good points, I'm going to move those to another piece, because the more information isn't the better. The simpler the better. You want to consolidate your message into one simple idea. You want to consolidate your messaging in concepts of numbers of 1, 2, and 3, so people don't get information overload. That's what I think is really good about Twitter, is it helps you learn how to make your thoughts really concise, because nobody, it's kind of the too long didn't read thing, where it's like, if you're going to make a rant and you're going to post something on Facebook that's like 5-6 lines, I can't even, as soon as I see it, I'm like, okay, that's too much. It doesn't matter who you are or what the content is. It's too fast, or it's too much. People are just going to skip it. If you put 1 line, even if I don't like you or if I don't know, I probably will accidentally read it just from looking at it. And so there's so much strength in brevities. It's crazy. And I think people get really bogged down trying to write long-winded things or be really over-explanatory. But it's really the strength of messaging is simplicity and clarity. Simple points. Make 1 point. If you have a tweet or if you have a Facebook post, make 1 point and think about that 1 point the entire time you're constructing it. Because people are going to take away at most 1 thing from your post. And if you don't know what that is going into it, there's no way you're going to get rely on people who are reading it to know that that was the thing you wanted. It's basically just like a lost cause if you don't know exactly what you're trying to say. So anyway, my YouTube channel is going to have a lot of this kind of how-to and stuff. This is my kind of shtick to get more people just to think about starting Medium accounts, think about starting YouTube accounts and building a network, so we have basically we need an entire network for all of Congress in 18, and we've seen the Justice Democrats and brand new Congress are basically working together at this point. So now we know that they're going to be completely just trying to put corporate Democrats in all of Congress, and they're going to all lose. And so it's like it's more likely that we even support Republicans than we support Democrats at this point, because they seem like they're just interested in the same failed corporate strategies. It really does seem like the Democrats' strategy now is just to be sandbaggers, like all behind the scenes. They're like, we're not even like actually trying to do anything. We're literally, our point is to help the Republicans, because they're all corporatists, right? They're all millionaires. So it's like, it seems like at this point the Democrats are like, we're going to be the ones that are trying to say the right thing and just stall out so the Republicans can just get their shit done as fast as possible. So it's like, I don't have any credibility or trust for Democrats at this point at all. And they show no sign of changing. The Democratic corporate media, they're investing all of their money now so they have their networks in 2018. They're not going to change. They're not going to pivot. The only things that are going to happen are they're going to be smart people that defect from corporate media to come to our side if they can afford it or whatever. That's the only way that we're going to see, basically a transition from corporate media to progressive independent media going into 2018. So if you are real, we on Real Progressives, in my opinion, this is the most clear community of people who are free thinking, in terms of like the biggest online group that's active with news, has people on the ground and just presenting tons and tons and tons of individual voices without me policing what, it's like, Steve, I love you for never, he just gave me the platform. It's just me and I'm here. And that's what so much of Real Progressives is like, you can love me or hate me, disagree with me or anything. It's like, it's amazing that there's that flexibility here on Real Progressives and the ability to be on the ground and just hearing it straight from the horse's mouth and all over the country. Real Progressives is the only place that has that right now. We can start building more places, small on local levels, in the lead up into 2018, and we need to. So please, people here, especially who are the most in tune with the truth as it is, the Real Progressives community, absolutely think about being a leader in your small group or being a leader on Twitter. It's so much easier to do everything on Twitter, and I swear to God, you guys, Facebook is so personal, but Twitter, start learning how to tweet, throw things out, even just go on there to retweet other people and get your style. It really speaks volumes. Okay, so my tweet about Debbie Wasserman Schultz, so it's been seen, I think, like 70,000 times already in the last 24 hours. It's the number one. So if you didn't see this, so I'm going to try and segue a little bit. So that was kind of my shtick about citizens journalism. I'm drinking so slow, you guys. I'm talking too much. So the segue perfectly ended up being that I tweeted this video of Debbie Wasserman in a meeting with the police, the DC Capitol Police, an appropriations meeting. And so about the tweet real quick, basically this bombshell yesterday. Debbie, basically, there is an ongoing investigation. The whole world is collapsing on Debbie, so I'm finally getting to Debbie. The whole world is collapsing on Debbie, and can somebody tell me what time it is, actually? I don't have my phone, or I'm using just my camera and I don't have my laptop here, so I need to make sure I don't go over. So if someone could type what time it is real quick, and then as we get closer to 8 p.m. Pacific time, if somebody could give me a warning, that would be helpful. Thanks, guys. So Debbie, was at this meeting and basically threatened the chief of police in DC for having confiscated her laptops, her congressional devices as part of this investigation that's ongoing about the Awan brothers. And Debbie, basically, there's so much backstory to this, and I'm going to touch on it a little bit. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the time. Awesome. Got 20 more minutes. 25. Perfect. Oh, you guys are great. Thank you so much. Okay, so also, I'm like, can I get some phone numbers in there? I'm just kidding. No, but thanks for the time. Don't put your phone number in here, please. Don't put your phone number in here. If you want to send me your phone number or some nudes, that's fine. We can talk about that later, but don't send me your phone number in this. None of that in here. Let's keep the comments PG. I'm so sad we don't have the Thankful Flower anymore, guys. I'm so glad I queened out so much when we had the Thankful Flower that day. I'll never forget the Thankful Flower and Jordan Sheridan that one night. Amazing. So, Debbie, basically threatened the chief of police, who was telling her that he's not giving her equipment back, equipment that has been confiscated, because it's part of an investigation into these IT staffers that were working with her for a long time. And this information has kind of been bubbling under the surface and for a long time. And basically, this has DC scared shitless more than anything else, more than Clinton's server, more than the DNC fraud lawsuit, more than anything else. This has people absolutely scared shitless because they have absolutely no idea what to expect. For people who have been, am I drunk? So on the scale, that's a good question. So here's the fun thing that we're doing now. So everybody has to tell me where on the scale you are. Scale 1 to 10, drunk, 0 to drunk, 1 to 10, and then 1 to 10, high, 0 to Snoop Dogg. And so I'm like a 4 on the high scale, 4 on the high scale, and only like a 2 on the drunk scale. I need to drink faster. So if you want to get higher on the drunk scale or share what number on the drunk scale you are, feel free. I'm going to tip a little more in this cocktail. So basically, this group, okay, there's so many things. I have so many tabs open in my head of things that we need to talk about with Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the Alwan brothers. And I don't know exactly how I'm pronouncing it, Alwan. I think the A's are pronounced evenly, Alwan brothers, Alwan. So they have been Debbie's staff. They're Pakistanis. And so basically, I believe since 2005, they've been working for Debbie. So long time, right? So this proceeds. So these guys have worked for her for a long time, before Clinton's first bid, right? So they have tons and tons and tons of history. And they basically, it's a group of at least 2 brothers. I think there's 4 total, but I know that 2 brothers started out working for Debbie Wasserman and a bunch of other people in Congress as IT aides. And basically, it's kind of weird to begin with that they're brothers, right? The hashtag is Alwan Brothers, and it's like, it's convenient for us to know that they're brothers. And we use the term brothers as a theoretical kind of like, I'm brothers with all, we're all brothers and sisters. But they are brothers. They're related. And that just is kind of consistent with everything we know about the Clinton and the Trump, like the whole nepotism of the elite class. It's like just that they would even work with people that are all related to each other. It's just like it's like birds of a feather. It really, and that's part of the sliminess of the DNC lawsuit, is just seeing how many people are just totally cool, like working with and being around slimy ass corrupt people. It's like, okay, that obviously means that you're corrupt too. Like that probably means you're either hiding something and you're benefiting from all of your laws not getting busted, or you like are kissing ass to the person who has successfully been more corrupt than you. That's all bullshit, and it literally makes me sick. I just legit get nauseous and I can't deal with that. But those people have to work together because they have to, if you're working in a shady way, you need to be working with people who are cool with that, because if they acknowledge it, they're either going to call you out, or better, they're going to work with you to conspire on it because they're shady as shit too. And so it's like, as you think about everyone who's in the Clinton cloud, it's like, it's basically all the people who are, corrupt in politics. Like, I need to figure out, I'm trying to get an article written, but if you basically look at the entire layer of umbrella of corruption, obviously Republicans are kind of a minor umbrella, but the Clintons going into this, like basically everyone corrupt, superdelegates, everyone corrupt in office is in some way under or contaminated by the Clinton umbrella. And it's insane. But it makes sense because obviously going into the election last year, so many people were conglomerating around Hillary, they just figured she'd have to win. So even if they didn't really want her to win, if they invested that time in, or they invested those personal networks or that money or whatever, it's like they all had stake in that. They're not going to want to claim that they made a mistake or that they were stupid. They don't want anyone to be prosecuted. They don't want anyone to have any consequences for this. So all of these people are just like snakes to me. It's just like, it's all these people that are just like, no, it's not a big deal. Everybody breaks the law. It's bullshit. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's like, that is on the way out. And basically, just the idea that Debbie's working with a group of brothers and siblings, and that so basically about 20 Congress people, or about 20 electeds, were using these IT staffers that were siblings, and they all obviously had to have known that they were working with, nice, they had to have known that they were all working with Debbie, right? And especially going into Hillary Clinton's election, they were all thinking that this was like the smartest thing you could possibly do, right? So here are these brothers who are doing IT for all of these people in anticipation of, they're basically expecting Hillary to win, right? They're probably getting promised things from them. They're probably like, this is gonna be our step up, right? So here are these guys that are working for Debbie Wasserman Schultz and other Congress people on their IT, doing their IT stuff, which obviously we know the nature of the IT stuff that the Democrats are doing is just basically covering up for the pay-to-play schemes that are going on, and worse. Like, we'll just stick to the pay-to-play schemes because I think that we can all agree and have observed from the WikiLeaks that there's plenty of corruption in terms of pay-to-play, that just in that of itself, anyone who's in the Democratic corporate party umbrella knows that if one person gets busted for bribery, that may set a precedent that many others will also get busted for bribery. And that's why it's so important that we start busting people on the local level all the way on up, so we can just hit those dominoes from the bottom up and set those precedents. Obviously all the Democrats and the people in media don't want that to happen, so they're just like snaking on by. But going into the Clinton election, all of those people legitimately thought she was going to win. And so they basically were kind of expecting that like good things were going to come for them in the future. They were going to have more opportunities. They were going to have more money. They were going to have more power. That was all denied by everyone who put all of their energy into the Hillary Clinton campaign. She fucked it up so bad that she pissed off so many people that had basically invested how many years of their lives, the last 2, 3, 4, 8, how many years of like their lives did these powerful, influential people invest in Hillary Clinton only for her to fuck it up and blow an election to Donald Trump and have so many ongoing scandals. It's insane. So it's like, you just know that there's nepotism here, there's covering up of corruption in what they're doing, and these people had access to Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who of course was the DNC chair head, right? So she would have had the legitimate ability to look at voter files for every single Democrat in office. You don't think that these spying people would want that? Debbie literally was the end-all, be-all for all of the Democratic Party data. Fundraising numbers, voter registration numbers, re-election. Debbie was literally the end-all, be-all for that. And her fucking staff people, of course, like, it's in the stories you read and when you find out, they stole stuff behind their backs. It wasn't even just like they could have downloaded backup copies of the incriminating shit they have of all of Debbie's pay-to-play. I mean, Debbie honestly could have legitimately been bribing every single one of superdelegates. Literally. That's not outside the realm of possibility, that every single superdelegate was actually legitimately bribed. That's a very real possibility that could be on this laptop, right? Not even connected to Seth Rich. We don't have to talk about anything else. We saw so much pay-to-play released in the WikiLeaks emails about Barack selling ambassadorships, basically. Let's not forget that Barack's Senate seat was sold by Rod Blagojevich for, I believe, $800,000 when Barack was elected, and Rod Blagojevich is still in jail because of that, so we need more of that corruption busting happening everywhere. So, but, you know, Obama comes from the land of corrupt. Clinton comes from the land of corrupt. Like, Illinois is the hotbed of corruption. It's interesting fame. I lived in Chicago for a long time too, so it's very personal, but that's basically the way it is. And so, let's see here, where was I going with this? These brothers, basically, so they had access to as much, like, if they could have access to one person's laptop in the entire United States, legitimately, it wouldn't even be Hillary, it would be Debbie, because Debbie not only has the entire DNC umbrella, she obviously has the entire HRC campaign and everything within the Clinton Foundation, everything within the Clinton umbrella. So it's like Debbie is literally the one person that should be the most protective of sensitive information. And basically, she's an idiot and a million times over and is the victim of her own stupidity, obviously, just like Clinton, just like all these people who have no common sense whatsoever. That, okay, so actually, Debbie, if you work with people that are cool with your shadiness, guess what? They're cool with shadiness. They might turn on you one day. Weird. You don't even fucking put that together. Like, I call it the consistency principle. If you see one person being shady to you, it's like, okay, like, I'm not impressed by your shadiness, because I'm like, that's probably happening here. If you're shady to one person, you're probably shady to everyone. And it's like that Debbie and all these people didn't, that's why so much of it is loyalty to them in this nepotism world. It's just like loyalty is what's encouraged. It's not about party line, or excuse me, it's not about issues. It's not about voters. It's not about anything. It's about loyalty. There's WikiLeaks emails that show that legitimately one of the things that the Clinton campaign said was that this was in Shattered, my mistake. In Shattered, they literally said the campaign, this blew my mind. They literally said that the Clinton campaign valued loyalty over competency. Let's say that again with claps for emphasis. The Clinton campaign valued loyalty over competency. Competency, not even just intelligence, not even just skill or smarts. They would rather have someone who's loyal than someone who's competent. So when you're a Hillary Clinton and a Debbie Wasserman Schultz who only look for loyalty and don't give a shit how incompetent, literally incompetent, these people are, guess what? You're gonna make fucking stupid mistakes and not realize it. Like, we have these people, like these IT guys, basically probably she's giving them nefarious orders to like back up all this stuff. It's like God knows what was going on. It's like, so the pay to play is the big thing, right? We've got the pay to play, and that extends into the Clinton Foundation, to the Hillary Victory Fund, to the DNC. That's a whole drama situation to begin with. And I don't even have to talk about Seth Rich or the fraud lawsuit necessarily yet, because just exposing all of the pay to play within that network of people is a huge enough of a concern for the laptop that's missing, basically. That's just a big enough concern right there for Debbie to be losing her mind. God, I lost my train of thought. Let's see here. Okay, so I have like 3 tabs open. So I lost the tab that I was on, but I'll close that one and pop back to the last one. So basically, they didn't realize that, that not only would they be liable to leaks, but these guys basically stole laptops from Debbie and from people in Congress. Not only did they have logins, so to sidetrack, these guys' names popped up in the WikiLeaks emails, and this didn't really get a whole lot of exposure, and people didn't play this up, so it was kind of confusing. But basically, there was an email that showed that Debbie, or there was some correspondence, I don't remember exactly now, but there was some correspondence that said Imran has access, or Imran has access to this laptop or this password. And basically, it was one of the many security breaches that we saw in Clinton's emails that basically like, oh, she left her laptop in the hotel room with the door open. Whatever, what's the worst that could happen? That laptop can get stolen. Hillary will never go to jail. She doesn't have to worry about it. So in one of the emails, it shows that they're like, oh yeah, Imran has access to the laptop. Go, he can just log in for you. And it's like, wait a second. So he has access to this laptop? Like, it's just this casual thing that this foreign national, which obviously I'm all about foreign nationals working in the United States. I literally work in immigration. But not even a U.S. citizen, a Pakistani national, is working in Congress. They were paying them. They were basically bullshitting that there were many employees just to pay the 2 guys a lot. They had no-show employees on the payroll for these guys. Everything about this is shady, and you need to, thank you for the time. Everything about this is shady, and you need to look it up and read all about it, because this is so incriminating and so legitimately, basically everyone in Congress could get blackmailed at any minute now. There could be a massive congressional leak at any moment if these get into the wrong hands, and all of a sudden everything that's been on this laptop that's been confiscated by Debbie, obviously the stuff is being put in the cloud and being transmitted without the actual devices. So it's like, yes, devices have a lot of stuff that you can check as the source, but these folks wouldn't have just all of their incriminating data on Debbie that they're using to blackmail her with. They wouldn't all just have that in one spot. The authorities will be able to find out what that may be by looking at it on a laptop. But rest in peace, or rest assured, knowing that wherever these guys are in Pakistan, they fled the country. They literally fled the country back to their home country and are being protected by security in their home country, which is bullshit. They basically convinced that they deserve special security, which they don't. They're not like royals or electeds or anything. But anyway, so basically Debbie just like gave them full reign to her computer and her logins and stuff, and so they were able to take whatever they want. It's in the cloud. It doesn't matter what's on the laptop. I mean, it's, you know, it's just one of these things where it's like, it doesn't really scare me at this point in terms of like my personal anxiety, because Hillary had a server in her bathroom for 4 years and was the most like liable to be hacked person on earth. So if nothing really bad happened during that period of time, that's kind of a relief to me. And so it's like, okay, basically now these guys started working for Debbie Wasserman Schultz, stole a bunch of people's laptops, devices at some point. They weren't even, these Congress people weren't even aware that their shit was stolen. It's not even, again, like they were just hacked and like they illegally stored documents that they shouldn't have stored, but they were working on. These guys literally, maybe they're kind of anti-Hillary now, right? Maybe they're kind of like burners, revolutionaries now that are trying to leak more shit to fuck up the Democrats, because, you know, at this point they are going to be in the benefit of the Democrats anyway. So if this is literally to their advantage to hold over Debbie and Clinton and all these people to blackmail them. I mean, obviously they play dirty. Like, that's how they got into this mess to begin with. And so it's like, you just have to expect that. And it blows my mind that Debbie and these people don't come to expect that the people you are hiring to play dirty with you might just turn their back on you and play dirty with you. Like, it's so mind-blowing how stupid these people are. But again, they value loyalty over competency, and that's bitch, and it's really going to have a lot of unintended consequences, which is Hillary Clinton's middle name. So basically these guys had what was called full access to everything in Debbie's computer. So between everything, DNC, Clinton campaign, Congress, all our committees, basically a few random brothers in Pakistan who have fled there now have that on their laptop. And you can just know for a fact that that information is not just about Debbie. It's information about basically probably every Democrat, if not beyond that, because obviously it's basically all one big corporate party, and we saw in the WikiLeaks emails how conglomerated the Republican and Democratic parties are anyway. So it's like, you know that what's on that laptop is a lot of massively incriminating information. And I don't even have to get to the shady stuff that might people call me a conspiracy theorist for talking about, because just the pay-to-play stuff is so damning. And with the Clinton Foundation, it's all over the world, that so many people are under high pressure right now that we can just all agree that we're just going to wait for the pay-to-play shit to blow. And, you know, there's going to be worse stuff than that, though. So we can just count on that. But I don't even have to make any promises. But it's going to be a shit show. And basically, they're blackmailing her. Basically, so in one of the best articles I saw was on True Pundit about this, but look around, because of course mainstream's not talking about this, but basically they had full access to everything in Debbie's computer, and so they could look up anything, and they also stole devices without Congress people's knowledge, so people like just had their offices snuck into and their laptop was gone, and you know that they knew the passwords and everything to all those laptops, so that's all just basically, they could have absolutely everything, and so they're blackmailing them. And the articles have been saying that basically Debbie, and you see it in this video, and these other people are just madly loyal to these staffers and not saying anything incriminating, doing everything they can to protect the staffers, probably because they're being blackmailed. Like, I obviously have no idea, but it seems like that could be the only reason. I mean, obviously they don't want to incriminate themselves, but at the same time, it's like, well, the only thing worse than incriminating themselves is having someone else incriminate them of the things absolutely the furthest depth that they could possibly want, right? Debbie would be lucky if she goes down for a minor scandal, right? She's got 4 things coming at her right now, between Seth Rich, the DNC fraud lawsuit, the $1 million bonuses, DNC lawsuit, and this A1 Brothers situation. Debbie would be lucky to go down for a blowjob scandal, like, right? Like, that could be the least of her concerns, and hopefully she'll just drop out. She should drop out. Debbie, if you're watching, resign and just withdraw from public life, and I never want to see you again. Nobody else does, and you'd be lucky if you never get arrested, because, you know, it's eventually happening. We will eventually have justice. And it's basically just Debbie and everyone in the Clinton umbrella, everyone in the corporate conglomerated Congress is at the mercy of the folks who have Debbie's computers. And here's Debbie threatening the chief of police, saying that there will be consequences if he doesn't give them back to her. And he can't give them back to her. fortunately, and it seems like it's too big now for them to like, for the, I'm sure the Democrats are trying to make all their calls right now to stop the investigation, but it seems like it's too late, and it's too big of a deal now. So keep sharing this information everywhere. Thank you guys. I'm going to do 2 more minutes, and then sign off. So it's, oh, try this really fast. 2 more minutes to drink this. It's so strong. Woo! So yeah, the blackmail is rampant, the bribing is rampant, we know this. Okay, so stay on that story and keep posting this, because this is, again, the Alwan Brothers story is one of the most untouched stories because it affects everyone, and we have to push people on that, among other things. We started a note, Mark Zuckerberg, I'm just going to hit my list because I took the whole time talking about that. But anyway, so what's up, South Carolina? Hello from Seattle. So a couple quick tips before I sign off. Mark Zuckerberg officially is running for president. He's raising money. So we're starting the Never Zuckerberg movement now. I'm hoping I can get 50 million views just on that alone. And it's so funny because it's like, I'm just this random ass douchebag on Twitter, but now Ro Khanna and all these people listen to me on Twitter because I got big over the course of the Bernie blackout. Now people actually talk to me. So actually we can expect me to be one-on-one with Mike Zuckerberg. So I've already started trolling him because obviously Facebook hasn't been paying their taxes for years and years and years, not even responding to the IRS who's harassing them about their tax fraud. So I will just keep saying all these loud things about Mark Zuckerberg, but he's running for president now, so get on the Never Zuckerberg hashtag and be very vocal about that, because hopefully we can just nip that in the bud and he'll get the fuck out of the race so we don't have to think about it, because putting him up next against Tulsi would be absolutely just hilarious for him in a bad way, hilarious for us in a good way. And on Tulsi, support her speaking out about, so basically if you're protesting Trump in general, just speak about it. Tulsi beats Trump. I kind of talked to somebody about that earlier, about how to protest Trump, and I'm like, Tulsi beats Trump. Let's take the focus off Trump. Don't give him any more brand recognition. We need Tulsi's name to be front and center for the future. And she's speaking out wisely again against the Saudi arms deal, which is horrific, and I can't even think about it without getting sick. So, nice. Never Zuckerberg. Perfect. Keep it going. I can't even think about the Saudi arms deal without getting sick to my stomach, because these are so many extremists come out of Saudi Arabia, and with the Yemen slaughter, it's just unbelievable that they would want more weapons. And of course Trump likes to go big, so it's really a bad thing. But anyway, I'm going to start my YouTube channel this weekend because I have so much more to say, and I'm out of time now, but I'm going to start my YouTube. So find that, stay tuned with Real Progressives, donate to Real Progressives, follow, support more independent journalists. My name is Zach Haller. Finish your drink really fast. I will too, and I'll see you this weekend. If I don't catch you, have a happy Memorial Day weekend, everybody. See you next time. Thanks for joining.